Hello, friends. How are you guys? I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. I am Brianna, and I am a Sapphire brand ambassador, and I've been with Plexus for 6 years in March. So I just, I'd say, like, just like over the top excited because I have found something I love and I believe in, and it is life changing. And so, as you all probably know, it's probably changed your life too. And so, I'm going to give you a quick story about me. I have been married to my husband Darren for 11 years. I have two kids. Um, Abram will be 7 next week, and Kennedy is 10. And she is in competitive gymnastics. And so we're on the road a lot, traveling during the winter. Um, I was a teacher for fourth and fifth grade, and I left teaching. I left the classroom because I lost that true passion for being inside the classroom. And I love small groups. I love teaching like this. I love intimate, like more, one on ones. And so our school got a part time math interventionist, and I jumped all over that. And so I get to work with 3 through 5th grade on their math in small groups. I never have more than 5 or 6 kids with me at a time. And it's so much more um, enjoyable. And I love what I do. And so tonight is about you all and your belief and how I can help you build that belief in yourself, and how I've went into Sapphire being a full-time teacher, being a mom, and really working from ground zero to where I am today. And so I started Plexus because of my horrible digestive issues. And if you knew me personally, you knew I was like the running joke of the family and friends. When we went out to eat, I was the one stopping on the way home before we could even get home because my stomach was a disaster. Um, Traveling was a nightmare. Before I was even 30, I had 2 colonoscopies and EGD, 2 or 3 different GI doctors. I had an internal doc, and I just could not get answers. They kept prescribing me anxiety medications, different digestive issues, like they kept saying I had. And I just was not seeing like results. It would last for a little while, and like things would start back up. I had Abram. Right before I got pregnant with Abram, I was in a figure competition training. And so I was very fit. I was eating a very strict diet, and I was the sickest I had ever been. And so when people tell you that diet and exercise works, they're lying, because it doesn't work. Because that you can look at me in my face, in my eyes, and see how sick I was at that time. And so I made fun of people basically who were taking this pink drink, because that's all they were promoting. I did not feel like it was like a lot of gut health at the time. It was a lot of like more weight loss, and I was not a fan of that. And so I turned everyone down that came my way. And finally, one of my really good friends at the time started. She saw a huge change in her joint pain. She had RA. She wasn't drinking as much coffee. I saw her go back to the gym, and I was like, wait, what's happening? Who are you? And so, like, I just kept putting it off. I can't afford it, yada, yada, yada. And so I ordered late one night at like midnight, because my husband was on the night shift at the time. And I put it on our credit card and hid it from him. But the joke was on me because he was home during the day. So he got the package before I did. And he sends me this picture, and he's like, "What's this? We're not doing this again." I had been in other network marketing, direct sales, where the inventory piles up. You make $200 or $300 a month, but you're like spending that just to make that. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "We're not doing this again." And I was like, "Just give me a month. I can return it. I'll get my money back." That was my goal. I was going to take it and return it. Well, little did I know, within just a few weeks, I was up off the couch bathing my kids. I was not drinking my Monster energy drinks. I wasn't living off my junk food drawer in my teacher desk. I wasn't drinking the Dr. Pepper. You all know the stories, how they go, right? It changes completely. So I want you all to think about that. Think about the difference that people have seen in you what's the difference that you've seen in friends that you've got started? So if you can just take like 2 seconds and drop a quick testimony in the chat, or if you want to unmute, but tell me something that Plexus has done for you product wise. What is something that you've seen? Maybe it help a friend. Like, we know that I have friends who didn't poop. I did not know that was even a thing. Like, how naive. I guess when you like go to the bathroom too much, you just assume that people like go normally. I don't know. I did not realize that people did not poop. And so when people like were like, I don't poop, I'm like, no way. Like, you don't poop? What's that life like? Because I go too much. So, okay, so look at this. No more heartburn, stomach pain, off, lost 65 pounds, was able to conceive, rock solid sleep, healthy pregnancy, joint pain and stiffness, don't need coffee. A friend came off metformin after 3 months on Plexus. I mean, can we get an amen? Kick Diet Coke addiction and it made me poop. Yeah.
Can I share?
Yeah.
I'm Robin Robinson, and I am from Alabama. I'm on Megan Ashton's team. But I have, I was on 10 prescriptions a day for MS, and I don't take anything. I've not taken, in a year and a half, I've not taken any prescriptions whatsoever. And it's because of Plexus.
That's amazing.
Healing my gut. So that's my testimony. I mean, I'm off everything.
That's amazing. So you all see this belief, right? We see that the products work. We know that. So this is where the belief starts, right here, is in the products. And so when you hear these testimonies of all of the people coming off prescriptions, no more migraines, the caffeine addiction stops, you know, like people are pooping, seasonal allergies, the inflammation, the bloat, like, guys, that changes your everyday life. Like, that makes your life better. And that's what we're doing for people here, is we're improving their everyday life. And I feel like that is just like a God-given purpose, is to make people's lives better, because that's what we're here to do, right? Is make an impact. So I am like multitasking here at my best. But I am loving these testimonies, and I'm definitely going to open this back up. But I also want to be respectful of your time. But so belief is accepting that something is true and that you have trust and faith and confidence in something. And if you just read that chat, you can see that we have trust, we have faith, and we have confidence in our products. But do you have that in yourself? Like, really think, do I have that belief in myself that this is possible? Because the belief starts in the products. And if you're even a slightly bit, I'm not sure this works, I'm not sure if this is real, your friends will notice that, and they will notice your lack of confidence, and they'll notice your lack of belief. So you have to know 100% that these products work, that they change lives, and that you are doing something super impactful, not only for yourself and the ones around you, but your family. And so that's something huge that I really rely on when I don't feel motivated, right? Is that discipline to make that impact and know what my impact is doing for those around me, my family, and my customers. So think about your belief. Okay. So when it comes down to it, like, you will believe what your mind tells yourself, right? So if you're thinking, I don't know that these products work, I don't know that this opportunity works, I don't think this is for me, I will never make it to the top, I will never become a jewel, I can't even make it past gold, or whatever, you are going to believe those and you're going to become those things. So if you spend all your thoughts thinking that this is impossible, that's what it's going to be, impossible. Manifestation and visualization is huge in this business, because you have to see that long-term vision, that long road ahead, and that's where your eyes have to be set. So spending your thoughts and your energy believing that this is possible for you, that God gave you this for a reason, right? This is a God-given like purpose, and that doors will open for you. Your ideas will become more open and more clear, and you're going to become more fruitful, because you're going to be more curious around things, and you're going to be more creative, and you're going to see things in a different light. So your dreams will start to come true. And you have everything that you need already inside of you. Just sometimes we have to believe it, and sometimes we've just got to learn a few things. So it says, when it really comes down to it, you become the person that you believe you'll become. If you spend all of your thoughts believing that you will never make it, you will never make it. If you spend all of your thoughts thinking that's impossible for you, it becomes impossible. But if you spend your thoughts and energy on believing that it is possible, it suddenly becomes possible. Doors will open, ideas will come your way, and your dreams will start coming true. You have everything you need within you to start living your dreams, but you have to believe it first. So I'm big on quotes. I like quotes, and I like to think about those types of things. And you'll probably hear me quote a lot tonight from Success is a Choice. If you were at Jewel School, the last one, they gave us this book, and I'm so thankful for it. But last time I checked, when I sent it to my team, I think it was like $9 on Amazon. So it's super cheap. It is a John Maxwell book. And so sometimes I feel like his are very hard to read, but this one I really enjoyed. So like it goes over belief in all of the things. And so I've taken a lot of notes in this, but it says you have to have enough faith in yourself that you think you can fulfill it. So basically, people who believe in themselves get better jobs and they perform better because successful people believe in themselves when others do not. So only in the time that you believe in yourself will you reach your full potential. And so when you're believing in yourself, bigger things are going to happen and come your way. So that brings me to limiting beliefs, because a lot of times if you don't have belief in yourself, it's because you have those limiting beliefs. And so limiting beliefs are what keep you playing small. It keeps you in your comfort zone. And a lot of times it's just your thoughts and they become your excuses. And a lot of times they are formed subconsciously because you're not realizing. Maybe somebody told you that you would never make it. Maybe it was a teacher, or maybe your mom doesn't believe in what you're doing. I will tell you, my own mother will say when I earn Hawaii or I earn Mexico, she'll say, well, enjoy it. You know, you never know how long it's going to last. Like, okay, thank you for that. Great, congratulations. So you have people all around you, and those people are either building you up or they're tearing you down. I really don't feel like there's kind of like an even kind of kill, because it's either one way or the other. And so recognizing and identifying your negative thought patterns and those beliefs when they arise. So being self-aware, when you see those things start to come up, what are you feeling? Where is that belief coming from? Right. So, and then like journaling and like getting curious around those thoughts. But understanding that you have the power to change them. And so I put Emily Gibson's Beyond the Rank on here. She's got a free podcast. Some of you may already be in her Beyond the Rank membership, but learning how to really understand that circumstance and the thought and the feelings and the actions and the result and all of that and how it processes is really, really huge. And it's really been a game changer for me a lot in just everyday life, because I was the one who was like running on life or death panic situations. I came from divorced parents at a young age. So I went from a stay-at-home mom to a mom who struggled to take care of two kids. And so there was never enough. There was always like lack thereof, right? And so for her, there was never enough time. There was never enough money. And so all of these things, right, form subconsciously for me, thinking, okay, like there's never enough. There's never enough time. There's never enough money. Like I'm never going to be enough. I can't do all of these things. And that was my life. I was rolling out of bed negative because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different, right? Nobody ever taught me these things. Nobody breathed belief in me as a child. And so this is like eye-opening, not only as a leader, but as a parent, right? And as a friend, because we can be that positive person in somebody's life. But recognizing these thoughts when they come up for you. And in this book, he even talks about like the limiting beliefs, because he says most of the time it's self-imposed limitations. They limit us as much as real ones. Life is difficult enough as it is. We make it more difficult when we impose additional limitations on ourselves. So we do it to us. And so this says your potential is up to you. You decide. It's a choice. And one of the coaches that he interviewed in this book says, you know, we can measure their skills all day long. You can measure the potential of your team all day long, but it's impossible to measure the heart. Only the player can determine that. And like that just like hit me straight to my core because it's so crazy. We can see their potential all day long, but there's probably something underlying there that we don't see, that we don't know what's going on with them. We don't know how they were raised. We don't know how their mindset is until we dig in and we start coaching them. And so this is where your belief really starts to come in, because you're going to gift out your belief. They're going to borrow your belief. So let me move this. This is a belief journal. I can share this graphic with you all. I just kind of threw this together, and you can always just jot this down on a notebook piece of paper. You can screenshot it, whatever works best for you. But looking at the limiting belief, when you're aware of that belief, when it comes up, like I'm never good enough, I'm never going to make it past gold, I'll never make it to the top, yada, yada, yada. Determine what area in your life you're not achieving what you want and identify that belief. And then see where that belief originated from. Where did it come from? Did it come from a childhood experience? Did somebody tell you this? Where did it come from? And then do you really believe it? Is this true? Like, is there proof? Can you go to court and there's documentation that this is true? Because I guarantee that it's not. And then use a bridge thought. And those bridge thoughts a lot of times are just using yet and. Like, I know I've had a bad day, but it's not a bad life, right? I know that this feeling is uncomfortable, but it's not going to last. Like, I know that I have not reached Ruby yet, but you know, like, and you're creating these thoughts, and then you use the positive affirmation to realign those thoughts and to build that belief in yourself. And so that your mind starts believing the positive thought that you want to have using the bridge thought and the affirmation. And then the daily actions are going to support that, because without, okay, I put this in my notes so I would say this correctly. Your belief determine your expectations, and your expectations determine your actions. So if you are not believing that you can do this and setting those expectations for yourself, guess what? There's not going to be any action. So you build confidence in yourself by showing up and being consistent. That's where your belief comes in. When you say, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and read my Bible and do my devotional, and every day you keep waking up and you make an excuse and you don't do it, guess what? Your mind is like, yep, nope, she's not going to do it. There's nothing there. There's no belief there. So when you continue to get up and read your Bible and do your devotional, it becomes a habit, and you become consistent, and it becomes a part of who you are and what you do. And that's what we want this business to do. We want it to be a part of who we are, who we show up like authentically and vulnerable, and we do it consistently. And if you guys have anything to put in the chat, just drop it in. And if one of you leaders have something to say, I'm totally free with you guys just popping in. Okay. Diamond documentaries are also something that can build belief in your team and yourself. If you're lacking belief, go watch a Diamond documentary. They're in the back office. Borrow somebody else's belief and lean on somebody on your team, in your upline, sideline sister, and just dig in with each other and build each other's belief up, and then hold on tight, because you're going to feel that excitement, and you're really going to see your team start to explode when you're building that belief and that vision, and they see where the team is headed. So build that belief with Diamond documentaries. Something else I want to say is the root of your success is in your belief. Sorry. If your belief is high, you're not going to make excuses. You're not going to let life just happen. You're going to seeing more things come to fruition because it's not going to be the lack of confidence and the lack of being bold, because you're going to be confident and you're going to be bold with that belief. So make sure that your belief is standing solid so that you're being bold and you're being confident, and your team is going to see that and your audience is going to see that. And that's way more impactful. Mindset's everything. You guys know that every leader will tell you that this is like, I believe, almost like 95% mindset. You can learn how to do something in this business. You can learn how to do the things. But if your mindset is not there, it's just not going to happen. So read the books, listen to the podcasts, and focus on growing yourself. Invest in yourself, whether that's coaching or it's Kristen Boss's Academy or whatever that you need. Get into something. I'm sorry, guys. So when you're watching these diamond documentaries and you're reading product testimonies and you're staying involved in the community and you're reading the books and you're listening to the podcast, guess what you have? You have value to give. You have things to offer because you're taking in good things. And I believe it's Emily Burgess says this. She says, or Christine Williams, there's never a time that I've had like somebody come to me with a problem that I've not been able to answer. And then afterwards, I'm like, thank the Lord that I just read that book or watched that video, because it just helped me answer that question for this person on my team. And so learning and growing is never going to be a bad thing. So pick up a book, read a chapter a day, set a timer for 10 minutes, read 10 minutes before bed. That's what I do. I read like a chapter or whatever I can get through before I get super sleepy at bedtime. I listen to a podcast as I drive to or from work. I'm work out 5 or 6 days a week, but that's my music time for me. So set time for yourself, but set time to learn and grow. So if you're doing dishes or I used to listen to a podcast, Emily's coaching podcast in the mornings when I would shower and get ready for work. Whatever works for you, but fit it into your schedule somehow. Anything John Maxwell, How Successful People Think, Build Good Habits, Atomic Habits, The Slight Edge. Those were both game changers for me. Life Coach School podcast, Beyond the Rank, Kristen Boss. Brittany Howard's new podcast is amazing. Guys, the resources are just out there and it's like free everywhere. You just got to take the time to really grow and do that. And sometimes you can get stuck in consumption mode and you're just learning, but you're not putting anything into action. And you'll notice that because your wheels will start to spin. So just be cautious of how much that you're taking in. So this, quickly, let me move this for you too. Just when you show up as your best self, what does it look like? What does it look like when you show up as your best self? I want you to really think about that. And then looking at your daily actions, does this align with the version of the best self? And you could even say best self, like when I show up as a diamond, what does it look like? And looking at my daily actions, does that align with the version of Diamond Brianna? Like put yourself in that situation. And then how can you align your daily actions with the diamond version of yourself? What does that look like? And how can you align those things? So these are just some things that you can journal and use as you go along, because I feel like journaling is very important to get your thoughts down, to really just like get ideas onto paper. And sometimes when I journal, it just really starts to flow. Okay, vision. Oh, vision is so important, because if you don't know where you're headed, nobody does. Because if you don't, your team doesn't. It's just like with belief. If you don't have belief, your team's not going to have belief. And if you don't have vision, your team's not going to have vision. So vision is a verb, and it's said to imagine. It's the ability to think and plan the future with imagination and wisdom. Wisdom, that knowledge, like growing and learning, but to imagine. And this is what I love. I used to think vision was I'm like, oh, vision, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what that looks like. I was just I don't know, I'm not creative and I just did not vibe with the whole vision thing. And I'm like, okay, if I don't have vision, where am I going? My GPS doesn't know where to take me unless I put in the address. And so the address here is Diamond, right? We all want the top. So that's our end destination. But sometimes you got to stop and you got to get gas. And sometimes you got to stop and rest. And you're getting off every now and then. But when you get off, guess what? You get back on and it's that path, right? Sometimes it's a little curvy road. Sometimes we fall off the cliff. We got to climb back up. You've got to have the long term vision. Okay. So it's in the Bible, honey. Like Proverbs 29:18. When there is no vision, the people will perish. Okay. So if you don't have vision, your team's going to get frustrated. Okay. Because your team doesn't know where you're going. Your team doesn't know where you're headed, what's going on. And then you become frustrated and your team becomes frustrated because nobody knows what we're doing and where we're going. Right. So is your vision clear? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're headed? Right? Natalie said, I've climbed many cliffs. Me too, honey. Me too. I've hit every rank and fell back down. I hit Ruby and fell back down. I hit C Ruby and fell back down. I hit all the things and fell back down. Like I am probably one of like I'm not saying this to like toot my own horn, but one of the good people to explain a true journey to the top for somebody because it was not straight. It was not easy. I I hit Emerald for the first time in July of that year. Should have went to Hawaii. We had like major back office things. We didn't know where I ended. I ended up at 1506 and I had like 4 returns when or 3 returns or something. And when commissions processed, I was at like 1494. Okay. I could have quit. I could have quit. I got in the shower and I cried for a few days and I was like, okay, that's it. We're doing it next month. And guess what I did? We hit it in August. Did I get the Hawaii money that year because it was COVID? No, I did not. But you know what? $4,500 did not crush my soul that much because I made it when I went to Emerald that next month. Right. So it's like, it's okay. But like those things seem so detrimental when they're happening, right? So detrimental. But you just have to keep showing up and doing the things, right? And so this is where your vision comes in. Your vision has to be so clear. Where are you going? What's it look like? What do you want for your life? What do you want for your family? Where do you see your business in 5 years? What's your team look like in 5 years? You have jewels surrounding you. Like when I think of going to Mexico and Hawaii, I think of having the jewels there. I remember my first leaders retreat. It was in 2017. I joined in March. I earned leaders retreat immediately in that earning, went to Orlando in 2017. And let me tell you all this as a teacher and as a husband who was a night shift manager in Home Depot, he made more money than I did. We were able to take my kids to Disney, something that I dreamed of that I never, ever thought was going to happen. I took my kids to Disney because of Plexus. And I took my mom and stepped out with me. They stayed on property with my kids. Darren and I did the Plexus thing, met up with them when we could, and my kids got to experience Disney for the very first time. Like that was like signed, sealed, delivered, right? Darren walks into the Gaylord and he sees, this was my first event too, but escalator handrails were plexus wrap, the stairwells, all the windows, and huge banners hanging from the ceiling. You're just like, your mind's blown. And you're like, I'm here for free. Like I earned this and I'm here for free. Like I worked my butt off for how many years in that classroom. And I might have got a cup from a parent. But the county that I work for doesn't give a crap about me, right? They don't care. I feel like Plexus cares and they treat you well and they really, really care about us as a community. And so that really just solidified my belief and I really saw that vision. I saw one of my uplines hit Emerald. I helped do that push. I don't know, I was just like, okay, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. No clue, but I'm gonna do it. And so I really figured it out along the way. Like, I didn't have all the answers. I told you that I was so negative Nancy. Um, like, we were not good family life wise. Like, we just didn't have schedules intact. We didn't have things moving in the right direction that we should have. I mean, most people don't, right? And so there was no mindset, no personal development there. And so it really took a long time for those to kind of like get into place. So it takes time. Be gentle on yourself, right? Give yourself a little bit of grace. So if you can't answer these questions, I want you to sit down tonight or tomorrow and really think about, what do you want your business to look like in 5 years? What do you want your team to look like in 5 years? And where I was going with that story about Leaders Retreat is I saw everybody there with these huge teams, and I'm like, oh my God, I want that. Like, I want the big group picture. I want that. And so, like, now I can do that. This year, I think I had like 6 or 7 personally there with me. And then my Diamond Upline, Andrea, she had a bunch of girls with her, and Heather, my sideline sister, had a bunch. And so we got a big group picture, and it's like, okay, I really have this. I am so excited. So it just makes a huge difference when you can visualize what you want for your team and what you want for your business and what you want for your life. Like, what does your Plexus business mean for your family? Like, are they on board? Do they know why you sit down and work Plexus every night? Because mine knew, but they didn't get it. And so I had to show them when I sat down, I was being intentional on my phone. I wasn't just scrolling. I wasn't just taking time away from them for nothing. Um, and so make a vision board. It was so funny today. I have Andrea had us make vision boards, and it's on the background of my phone. And we'll show you here. It's like, you probably can't see it very good, but it's on my background, and I have a poster board that we made that's behind my desk, and there's a Lexus on it. And 2 weekends ago, I went and picked up a new Lexus. I needed a new car, and I was just like, you know what? I'm a company girl through and through. I want the Lexus. Give me the Lexus. And so Kennedy today, I'm driving her to gymnastics, and she goes, Mom, you know that vision board you made? It's got a Lexus on it. She's like, you should take that off because you got it, and we should add something else to it. Okay. That's what this is all about. Getting your family involved and getting them a part of your business, right? You've got to show them for them to understand. And so I really feel like that's a big part of our business, is getting our families involved. And so my kids know when mommy's working, it's because she wants to be home. I got to be the parent in the classroom this year at the Halloween party and the Christmas parties, and I've always had to be the teacher in the classroom. I've never got to be the parent in the classroom. And so that, they see those things, and they know that mommy works Plexus so she can be at the classroom parties, so she can pick us up after school every day, and she can get us off to school every day. And so getting that accomplished is huge. And then who's being impacted by your goal? Like, when you hit this goal or along the way, who's being impacted? Because I used to tithe at church because we were too broke to tithe at church, right? Like, I was like the selfish person. I didn't understand that, like, I can't tithe at church because I don't even have enough money to pay the bills. I'm able to tithe now, and I actually do above for missionaries that are church sponsors. So you're able to do more, you're able to give more. So who's being impacted by that? And so when you think of the things that you're able to do with your more money, your more income, who are you blessing along the way, right? That is vision for me. What am I doing along the way? And so once your vision becomes clear, it will, like, your team will follow because they have to know where you're going. If they're confused every month, like, what's our goal? What's our point goal? What are we doing this month? Tell them it's not selfish. You're the leader. Lead the way. Okay. Let's go all in. Making the decision to go all in. What's that even look like? Why do you want this opportunity to work for you? What do you want it to do? How could it improve your life? What am I willing to do to make this happen? Think time trade-off, setting non-negotiables. That means getting your IPA done before your head hits the pillow. That means exchanging the Netflix and the random scrolling or whatever it is for intentional work, or making a reel, or content planning, like being productive. And I will tell you, like, there are so many times that I can get caught up in scrolling for a real idea or content planning. And then I'm like, okay, crap, it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna do IPA. So set your timers and be intentional with your time. But will set your business hours. When am I going to make this happen? And what am I willing to do to make it happen? And what actions do I need to take daily to achieve this all end goal? If you're not doing daily IPA, if you're not being consistent, that's your first start, right? Connecting, sending new messages, adding value on social media. We don't need to get into all that, but that is your all in mentality, is when you can see, I'm going all in. I'm not stopping until I get to diamond and above, right? Why stop when you get to diamond? Because we know there's so much more potential. But when I get there, what's this going to look like? What am I doing? Who am I impacting? Think those things, okay? Long-term vision, not giving up, not giving in, because the only way to fail is to quit. So Vision Driven Leader, this is also a very good book that I highly suggest. Your team must know where you're going. You can put gas in the car, you can put it in drive, but where are you going? That navigation system, destination, right? It wants a exact address. Get your team involved, just like you get your family involved. Make vision boards together on a Zoom. We did that this year. Do vision leadership book studies. Guys, get your leaders reading, get your leaders in an accountability chat, do diamond documentaries, keep that vision going and help them keep that long-term mindset, coaching calls, digging in with them, one-on-ones, and figuring out where their lack is, because it's usually belief in themselves. So out of Vision Driven Leader, we must create a vision so compelling that it makes us do the work today. It keeps us going in the low times of our business. If we're just focused on a monthly price or our points, dipping in and out, month in and month out, keeping the nose in the forefront, looking at who's quit without a vision, you're not going to continue to grow. So you have to be that vision-driven leader, the one in the driver's seat. You've got the gas in the car, you've got the exact address in the GPS, and you're driving. So you can get in touch with me on Facebook. I'm just Brianna Botkins on Facebook and Brianna.Botkins on Instagram. Unfortunately, my accounts were hacked back in November, and so I had a fresh start. They were completely disabled thanks to some lovely hackers. But I am so excited to just connect with you guys. I hope this was helpful and beneficial. Does anybody have anything to add, to questions to ask? I mean, I'm open. We still have 5 minutes on the timer. So I did good. Yes, I can share the recording for sure. Natalie, do you guys have anything to add? Megan, Andrea, anybody? Thank you, ladies, for hopping on.
I was just
Love it.
gonna say really quick, I always talk to my team, and this is something that we used to focus on super hardcore and we need to get back to again, is, there's 3 areas of belief that you really have to focus on, and it's belief in self, belief in the products, and belief in the business. And if you lack in one of those 3 areas, you don't have a strong foundation to build a business on. So if you are having doubts about the product for some reason, or you feel like no one wants your product, well, like what she was saying earlier, Brianna was saying earlier, you got to go back and you got to look at all the stories and the reasons why you started sharing in the first place, and the people that you have helped. And you have to remember that those people exist, even though there are people that are not going to understand or give it the chance that it deserves. You have to know that there are people that have and will, and that there are other people out there that need what you have. And then, belief in yourself is self-explanatory, and she went in depth enough about that, and I don't need to do that, but finding more ways to believe in yourself and be confident in yourself, whether that is personal development or, talking to somebody who believes in you and like being more connected with them on a regular basis, because a lot of times, the people that are around us, not all the time, but a lot of times the people that are around us, they don't necessarily have the same goals and vision that we do. And so sometimes it's easy for us to feel crazy when we are around those people, or feel like we need to make ourselves smaller, or we shouldn't believe in ourselves. And it's really important that you find people and you seek community that raises you up and makes you feel like you are capable, and makes you feel like you are special and you have something to offer. And I don't know about you, but like, I try to make sure that that is how our team and our community feels, that they all have something to offer and they are all worthy and that they all deserve this. And like, I never would turn a person away that said that they wanted to do this. I would find something to highlight about them that they should believe in and that could carry them to the top. And then the last thing is like, belief in our company. And I think it's important that we touch on this really quick before we head out, because I think sometimes when there's like uncertainty, or something happens a way that we don't like it, or we don't like the contest that's going on, or we don't like this thing or this product or this launch, or we like, there's something that happens that, gets us feeling like deflated for a minute, we tend to forget that there's so many other things that we should be celebrating. And we have to go back to what she was saying, the vision, the original idea, the thing that we were following, and quit worrying about all these little distractions. Because really, when we put our head down and we work and we focus on doing the things that we know how to do, we know how to help people get started with their products. We know how to encourage people to share. Like, when we do those things, our businesses are going to grow regardless of what the contest is, or regardless of the new product that came out that we aren't really sure how to share. You aren't sure how to share that yet? Okay. Go to what you know and what you've been doing and what's been working, and then worry about the rest later. Like, quit getting so distracted by these other little things. So anyways, that's all I have to share. But I really thank you, Brianna. This was very, very good. And I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Sorry, I love that. And I think it's so important that we are company girls, like we stick solid. Like I said, like like she said, whether or not you like the promotion, whether or not you like that they're getting rid of Sam 2020 or whatever it is, like, you just keep rocking and you keep doing what you're doing. Like, that has no effect on your personal business. That's what I love about this too. This is your business. Like,
I think no one ever cares when I say this, but I always say, like, can I tell you that I built my business to Emerald when we didn't have instant points, and when annual memberships were $39.95, and we barely ever got any codes ever.
Right.
Can I just tell you that? So like, you can do it. I swear.
Yeah. Yeah. That the month that we got our upline Emerald, it was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, if you will just pay this month, we'll get you your welcome pack next month. Okay. Like, it was always the things just to like try and make things happen. And now we are so lucky. We're so blessed with how things go now. And I think we kind of take advantage and we like take those for granted. And so just being a company girl through and through, and really not allowing the negativity to stream through maybe a team chat or through, anything when things happen. So I love all of that. And so those beliefs that you have in yourselves and the product and the company, like those diamond documentaries will get you through almost all three of those things, because you're going to see their story, you're going to see their product testimony and their testimony with the opportunity. and just keep building Bully, keep growing. And so if anybody else have anything to add before we hop off? Any questions? No? All right, girls, I will send out this recording. Thank you guys so much for being on with me tonight. I'm so grateful that you took time out to be with me. So thank you. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.